A lot of what women feel attracted to about you is very subtle. And what I'm about to teach you in this video is often the difference between you getting a result with a woman or not. Or if you're interacting with a woman and another guy is interacting with her, she will choose him over you if she notices that you're making some of the mistakes that I'm talking about in this video, because these things reveal whether you are confident or insecure, or if you're a needy guy who's hoping to get a result versus a guy who's emotionally independent and is able to make women feel attracted and move things forward, but he's not needy for it. It's these type of subtle things that the members of my Master Attraction community are getting right, and as a result, they are having sex with women the first time that they meet them, they're having women offer their phone number, and having women ask to be their girlfriend, and much more. So, after you watch this video, check out the link in the description to learn more about my community. Now, let's start with the first way to attract women without saying a word. Let her feel the need to hold your attention. Where a lot of guys go wrong when they're interacting with a woman that they find attractive is that they lock onto her and she gets the sense that he is really focused on hopefully trying to get a result with her, to the point where he won't be able to do what I'm about to tell you now, which is to casually look away for a second or so when you're talking to a woman, to let her sense that you're not hanging on her every word. You're not locked on and worried that if you look away, then she's going to lose interest and the conversation's going to end. Instead, you're a man who makes her feel the need to hold your attention, right? So you're talking to a woman and you're having a laugh together, or she's explaining something, and you have the non-neediness in that sort of situation to be able to look away and look at something else and then look back at her and continue talking to her. That subtle move shows her that you're not like other guys who are completely locked on and just want to keep the conversation going with her and don't want to look away. And if they look away, they'll sort of look back really quickly and show her that they're focused on her. They're really excited to potentially get a result with her. But when you can let her see that you're not hanging on her every word and you're not desperate for a result, but you are talking to her, you are interested in her, then it creates that feeling inside of her where she feels like she needs to hold your attention. You're not a guy who is needy to get a result. You're a guy who can make other women feel attracted, so you're not desperate. Number 2, move through the space like you belong. So with this example, think of a guy walking through a shopping mall. Now, in a shopping mall, there are a bunch of strangers in there who don't know each other. But sometimes a guy will walk through a shopping mall and he'll be displaying body language and have a certain type of energy that suggests he feels like he doesn't belong. So he sort of feels a bit out of place in there. And some guys will think they're doing a great job of acting like they are looking confident as they walk through a shopping mall, but you can sense in the subtleties of their body language that they are worried about not looking cool enough, about not looking confident enough, about not looking this or that enough. Whereas another guy will walk through the shopping mall and he will have the body language and energy and vibe that clearly suggests that he doesn't feel like he's out of place there, that he's some sort of outsider, that he deserves to be there, he deserves to be walking through there and not worrying about what other people are thinking about him. And the difference is very subtle, but women notice it. Women notice when a guy is actually confident versus acting like he's confident. And they also notice when a guy isn't confident and he feels unsure of himself in a situation like that. So the same principle, the same psychology also applies in a bar, at a party. So, for example, if you're walking through a bar or at a party, women are paying attention to the subtleties of the man's body language. Does he actually feel like he honestly belongs in that situation and therefore he's not worried? He doesn't feel like an outsider or someone who really shouldn't be there, sort of thing. He really does feel like he belongs and that he deserves to be there. He is worthy. They sense that in the subtleties of his body language and it makes them feel attracted. And the same applies if you're on a date with a woman and you move through the cafe and you go to sit down at a table. If a guy sort of feels a bit awkward as he's going through the cafe and feels a bit awkward pulling out the chair and so forth, the woman is noticing that, right? She's seeing that, oh, he isn't a confident guy. He isn't sure of himself. He worries too much and is insecure and self-doubting, and that doesn't make her feel attracted. And the guy will then be talking to her on the date, and she will get the sense that he doesn't even feel like he potentially belongs on the date with her. Right? He doesn't feel like he's good enough. And she is sensing a lot of self-doubt and insecurity from him, and that doesn't make her feel attracted. And in terms of walking through a bar or a party, one of the giveaways for a woman is when a guy is sort of walking too carefully through the crowd and he sort of feels like he's interrupting people, he's getting in the way, he's a bit of a nuisance as he sort of walks through the crowd, whereas a guy who feels like he belongs there is going to move through the crowd and not be worried about what he is doing, because everyone needs to move around the situation and he deserves to be there. He belongs in the situation. He is worthy, so he's not worried about it. And women notice those things. Talking about being noticed, number 3, be the guy who doesn't need to be noticed. So, for example, in a bar or at a party or at a social function of some sort, a guy who has the need to feel noticed and acknowledged by other people, maybe standing there with a drink, for example, sort of looking around the room, checking to see if anyone is noticing, checking to see if anyone is giving him any sort of acknowledgement, right? If he sort of fits in, if he's okay. And a guy who's at a party will be looking around, sort of feeling a bit awkward and nervous, right? That he doesn't really fit in there, and really irrationally waiting for people to sort of give him a thumbs up type of reaction of, hey, you're cool. Hey, we like you. Hey, you're interesting. Hey, I want to talk to you, sort of thing, when that's really not going to happen in almost all cases, right? So one of the ways to attract women without saying a word is to be the guy who doesn't feel the need to be noticed. And this is where you naturally and honestly behave as though you are comfortable in the situation and don't need approval from anyone. So men who are truly confident don't need anyone to be noticing them or acknowledging them in order to feel confident. And you'll sense it yourself. You'll pick it up based on their body language and energy that they feel 100% confident in themselves, regardless of what everyone else is doing, what they're saying, if they're looking at them or not looking at them. But a guy who's insecure will be fluctuating in how confident he feels, and he'll be feeling nervous all of a sudden and unsure of himself based on what's going on in an interaction or how people are behaving around him in the situation. And women notice those sort of things. They see the insecurity and they're not attracted to that, because women aren't attracted to fear or insecurity or emotional weakness in men. They're attracted to confidence and emotional strength in men. So when you're able to display confidence and emotional strength, you are naturally attractive to women without saying a word. Number 4, don't change your energy just because she looked at you. So, for example, imagine you're standing at a cafe and you've just ordered a coffee, and there's a woman next to you who has also ordered a coffee, and you're both waiting. And as you're standing there, you notice that she looks at you and maybe looks at you again. How are you going to react in that moment? What's going to happen? A lot of guys in that situation will start to feel self-conscious. And for example, a guy may suddenly change his posture all of a sudden and be a little bit fidgety, or he might start fixing his clothes, or he may start to feel a bit tense and not really know what to do with himself and sort of be looking around and looking at her and looking back, sort of thing, and start to become fidgety and feel like he's under pressure in that moment. But a man who is going to make a woman feel attracted in a moment like that isn't just going to change his energy because she looked at him, right? He's not needy for a result with a woman. He's not desperate, and he's used to women showing interest in him because he displays attractive traits, and that happens naturally for him. So it's not a big deal. A woman looking at him is a normal thing, right? She's looking, she's finding him attractive, she's finding him appealing, and he's not going to get all nervous and weird about it or excited about it and sort of be looking constantly and hoping that she looks back again. But when he is doing that, she's then starting to feel turned off by his eagerness, by his neediness, by his jittery, fidgety sort of body language and energy. So the way to react in a way that's going to cause her to feel attracted is to continue on with what you were doing and not have any sort of energy or body language change as a result of her looking at you. So, for example, if you were waiting for the coffee and you were casually looking around the cafe, or you were checking something on your phone, you check that, and you may even look in her direction as well and give her a bit of a look up and down, and then continue on with what you were doing, and let her see that you're not worried that a woman has looked at you and maybe she's judging you now, or you're not needy about it in terms of a woman's looked at you and, oh, maybe you might have a chance with a woman now. Right? Oh, is she looking at me again? Sort of thing. You're not reacting like one of those guys. Instead, there's no change in energy from you. You're continuing on with what you're doing. And you also have the confidence to be able to look at her and then continue on looking forward towards the counter where you're waiting for your coffee And because of that, she's then going to feel attracted to you. She's going to sense that you're not a needy guy. And this is something that I refer to as the taken vibe rather than the seeking vibe. So it's actually been proven in multiple studies that women feel more attracted to men who have a girlfriend or who are next to a woman or who seem like they are taken. So it doesn't mean that you need to have a girlfriend in order to attract women, or you need to be sleeping with other women in order to attract women. Instead, you just have to make sure that you're not giving off the seeking vibe of those guys who are hoping to get a result, and you're also not giving off a vibe where you suddenly feel very self-conscious that a woman has looked at you. It's like, oh, what's she thinking now, sort of thing. Instead, you're a man who is just used to having women find you attractive. And she's then going to notice that, right? She's going to notice that you're not suddenly unsure of yourself and you're not suddenly seeming desperate. And in her mind, she then has to come to an assumption of what that means, right? It either means that you have a girlfriend already, or you may be dating multiple women, or you're just used to women finding you attractive because you have attractive body language and energy. Women naturally feel attracted to you. So because of that, because women are attracted to men who other women find attractive, she then feels more attracted to you in that moment. And what you'll notice is that she then looks at you again. And if that happens, you can then start a conversation with her. And I know this video is about how to attract women without saying a word, but I'll include an example here of something that you could say in a moment like that. So if she looks at you again and you notice that she is interested, you can say something like this. Hey, first coffee of the day, is it? So you're asking a very simple question that she's going to be able to understand and answer in that moment. And she's going to tell you that it's either the first coffee of the day or maybe her second or third. And if, for example, she says that it's her third coffee, you can then use some humor and say, oh, all right, we've got ourselves a coffee addict here. How many do you have in a day? And then she feels attracted to the fact that you're able to use humor and make her laugh and smile. But essentially, you start the conversation, you make her feel attracted, and then you get her number. And it's very easy to do once you understand that women naturally react with feelings of attraction if you're displaying attractive traits. Like, for example, if I said that in an insecure, nervous way, the woman wouldn't feel attracted, right? So the same type of words in an insecure, nervous, or fearful way is not going to make the woman feel attracted. Hey, first coffee of the day, is it? It's the same words, but she sees that he's nervous and intimidated and afraid, and as a result, she doesn't find him attractive. Women are not attracted to fear in men. They're not attracted to emotional weakness. They're attracted to confidence and emotional strength in men. So you can make women feel attracted to you without saying a word. You can also make women feel attracted to you by what you're saying. Once you understand that you are in control of how attractive you are coming across to women, then you can actually get it right? You can start displaying the traits that actually attract women so they feel attracted to you, they want you, and then you get the results you want. And as I said at the start of the video, the members of my community who are using my exclusive techniques that I don't teach on YouTube are getting amazing results. They're having sex with women the first time that they meet them, even though they've never done that before in their life. Another member went out and got results on the first night he ever went out to try the techniques. Members are getting amazing results when they apply the advice. And if you're interested in learning the exclusive techniques that I teach at Master Attraction, then head over to Master Attraction now. Alternatively, if you want some more examples and insights from me right now on YouTube, click and watch one of the videos on the screen.